right, Kyle Maloney, thanks for coming here, brother.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Nah, we're real happy to have you here. I mean, I think most people you'd be best known for First, Chef Made, Tech Beach Retreat, and we really want to kind of dive into those and kind of talk about them. But before we do that, we kind of want to talk about your journey as well. You know, so like, did you always want to be this tech founder? Like how did that happen? What were like your influences towards that?
Yeah. Well, we start there?
Yeah.
We're rolling.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So to give a bit of context, right? This is Trinidad, so everybody's want to know like what school they went to.
Yeah.
Right? So yes, I went CIC.
Right.
For good or for bad.
Yeah. I think most people would say good.
Yeah, man.
Unless they went to Fatima like us and they'd be like, nah, that's, bad.
Yeah. So yes, I went to CIC. And in that time, I was doing sciences, and so I did like physics and maths, and then I wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And then I went to school and studied aerospace engineering.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Most people don't know that.
Right.
So I took a year off from school actually, and got my private pilot's license at Brico.
Okay.
Brico SA, which is in Trinidad.
Yeah.
And my brother was 1 year behind me, and so I took a year off, and we went to university together.
Okay.
Yeah, and we both studied aerospace together, and so it was like a tag team kind of thing that we had going on in terms of like studying. Like, so there are certain courses that he was better at or I was better at, and we just help each other a lot. Yeah, no, that was. It was big for us in that way in terms of the support that we had for each other.
Right.
And then like at a point in time he was checking a girl in Tampa. so he was missing some classes and I like do his homework for him.
Right.
Yeah, so
brotherly love.
We got a real good support system there. Yeah. And funny enough, like going into university we used to fight a lot now. But by the time we got there we were like, it's just both of us, bro.
Yeah.
It's just both of us.
Right.
And that really like deepened the bond with us.
So you got closer.
Like, yeah, for sure. Like since university, like we used to get in like a lot of physical fights. But then after university, probably get into like 2 fights.
Were there any other trainees there where you all went?
Yeah. So there's a Caribbean Students Association.
Right, okay.
And in Florida, you have like a Florida Caribbean Students Association. So they're all connected and they have like a big conference that happens annually and they all super connected in that way.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So that's like where I would have first read about like Walshy Fire and Private Ryan and thing.
Because them men real big out there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So at the Caribbean Students Conference, Walshy would be playing and thing, and that's the first time I hear about their music and that kind of thing, and it was real vibes. I was like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
Because in my university, I went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
Right.
So it was all about engineering and flight and the study of flight and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And so it just really wasn't the college student experience that you would see on MTV at all. My mom was like, excellent.
But you were a little disappointed.
Yeah, no, for shit, sure. Like, I was like, what is this?
You thought you'd be
what did I sign up for?
Like smashing kegs and
Jesus. No, I mean like on the bro side they have like a lot of what do you call it? Fraternities, right?
Okay.
And so when it's just a bunch of boys and I just come from a freaking CIC.
Yeah.
To go into like
I set a man again,
Jen. And then like the girls were engineering girls, and so like
you know what I mean? Right. Okay.
You know, like it's just like so the
so that's not your type or the kind of sexy nerdy type. I kind of dig chicks with glasses, and my wife has glasses actually.
I mean, like no, they just not.
Yeah.
Like they don't care about being appealing. That's the thing. Exactly.
Right.
They don't care about being appealing.
Yeah.
So it have girls that are attractive, but they just don't care. Like that's just not their thing.
They don't put any focus.
Yeah, at all. They're talking about like connecting their fucking robots and thing.
No, but listen. I mean, even in Trinidad, like in the high schools, you know, the girls are performing better academically in high schools, and teachers tell you all the time because the boys studying the girls and the girls studying their books.
Yeah. Studying their book. For sure.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so went there, and that was a great experience from an academic perspective. Like I recommend it 1,000%.
So it's a good school.
Oh, we're saying
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because the whole entire environment of university is built around ensuring that you win. And compared to other universities, whereby it's like a big student populace, the campus, the students are like 5,000. I think it's now 7,000, including master students. So it's small, and so you have small class sizes. So it's typical to like where they come from in school here, like 30 students per class kind of thing. So you have a lot of attention, and you have a lot of support systems to just ensure that you win. And then all the big aerospace companies and airlines come in to you, and like you're the first to recruit, because the amount of students there's just a small amount, so it's not difficult to get all of them jobs.
So you immediately connected with potential work.
Exactly. Like some of my really good friends, like working at Gulfstream, United, Airbus, Boeing.
Wow.
And it's amazing. It's sick.
So how did you sidetrack
from that into tech? Like
what went on there?
So
I mean, engineers and tech is not too far away, right? But it's
exactly.
like one is planes, and now we're talking about like websites and conferences and startups and
So life is this quote. I think Steve Jobs gave it, like you can never connect the dots looking forward, but looking back it all makes sense.
I say that all the time too.
That's just good.
I say that all the time. That was from Steve Jobs.
I don't know, guys. He's read so much, and then
it is though. It is.
Right.
But I mean, like I always say, people have the same ideas. That's what some people don't realize. Is who goes out there and makes it happen first.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that quote though is more about. So like me, who's had random jobs before I even kind of got into digital marketing and advertising. But everything that I've done in life, even though they might not seem connected, there's something that you take away from it. And like that had to happen before that could happen, that could happen. And as you said, or Steve said, looking back, it could connect the dots and like, man, that had to happen.
Yeah. I think you're going to be saying that a lot in all your podcasts. I saw you say that in the best one.
I might have said that. Yeah. No, but listen, even like the Joe Rogan podcast, because that was like one of my favorite podcasts. Okay. And he does, because people repeat things all the time. But now you're videotaping it, right? So there's a history of it. So it go happen.
So that's going to be a signature.
For real.
Yeah.
So,
but anyways,
what were your thoughts?
So my dad is a businessman, right? So growing up, I grew up in a very like entrepreneurial home.
Right.
From that perspective, I was real close to my dad. And so he had 7 shoes and clothing stores in Port of Spain, and I grew up just him traveling to the US all the time and bringing back shoes and clothes and packing out and container and running between the stores, between Charlotte Street and Henry Street and Frederick Street and that kind of thing. And so just growing up understanding that from the onset that I just was never really gonna get a job now. I was always going to like build something on my own. And my mom was the conservative one, and she's like, go get your degree and get this and have a fallback plan and that kind of thing. And so essentially, like, while I love the aerospace industry, me going to do a degree there and then work there was like, in my mind, like, all right, this is my fallback plan. Start working there, start making some money, and then maybe I'll branch off and become an entrepreneur, like after I save up some cash and that kind of thing. And that was like my mental trajectory.
Which would have made sense. That wouldn't have been a bad move.
Right. One summer though, I have a really good CIC gives you like access to like a lot of really good kids whose parents are like successful and good entrepreneurs in the country. So
I mean, like a mentorship kind of thing.
Well, no.
What do you say, access?
Access meaning like your peers in
tend
school,
to be people.
Parents are some of the leaders in the country, right? So like in my class I had like in my year because I didn't study business, I studied sciences. So in my year I had like a guy called Colin Sabga, and now he's do Fat Boy Coconut Water. I had SM Jalil, and so that's one of my really good friends, Isa Mohammed. So they had access to quite a bit of these families that business oriented, and so we used to have a lot of business oriented conversations. And so my mind while I was studying sciences was always like looking at like Forbes list, like and trying to understand like how this man become the wealthiest and that sort of thing, right? So you had that sort of like obsession as well in that way. And in university, in our first year, we had to present a project, and on a rocket that they gave us to design and present why your rocket was the best. And my brother and I were on the same team, naturally, and then we had 2 other people on the team or whatever, and we led the presentation in terms of selling as to why our rocket was the best. And I remember my engineering 101 teacher telling me, like, guys, like, you're not going to be engineers.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't take this in a rude way. Like, you're going to finish, you're going to get your degree, but like figure out on what end of business that you're going to be.
Yeah.
Because you're definitely going to be like engineering manager, or you're going to be on the business side of it in some way, because the way that you've presented is very different compared to everybody else.
Right.
Yeah, and I distinctly remember that. Like, that like stayed with me for my whole life.
Yeah.
And then the next year, funny enough, like they were in our university, I always tell you, like, join clubs, right? And so like the next semester, we were like trying to figure out like what club to join, like business wise. And I was in one of my physics classes, and the university have like a newspaper, and my foot was on the newspaper, and I didn't realize now, and I was like, shit, what's this newspaper? And I moved it away, and then it said like Collegiate Entrepreneurship Club, right? And I was like, oh shit, wow, like look at this. And I was like, hey Nicholas, look at this dog, like go and check it out.
Like a sign.
Exactly.
Literally a sign stuck to your foot.
Like. Yes, it's weird. Like, I'm playing, I don't even remember telling this story to anybody in recent time, actually.
Right,
okay. I'm just now remembering it as I come here, like, let me figure out what's the story I'm telling, right? So we went to the first club meeting, which was like a couple days later, whatever, and the guys there they were talking about like starting their first company and what we needed to do, and the people in the Collegiate Entrepreneurship Club were studying aviation business management, so we were the only engineers in there, right? And we ended up having a bunch of meetings, talking about business or whatever, and talking about what we want to start and different companies, and we ended up starting this website that allows students to buy and sell items from each other in school.
Okay.
Yeah, and we call the site Eagle Trade. So Eagle was our mascot for our university, and trade is essentially what we wanted them to do, right?
Right.
So
how many students were in school?
Just under 7,000.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So it had a very like compact base of students from the perspective that they have a strong school camaraderie. It's not a lot of students, so they have a very sense of school pride in that way, right? When we launched and we started, like, that's when I started my foray into like figuring out how to register a company in the US and marketing and guerrilla marketing and like design and like a whole field of things I never like think about doing before, right? And that summer I came back home, and my friend brother, so Issa Mohammed, his brother was studying at London School of Economics, and he was studying, he's doing economics, he's doing his undergrad in economics, right? And we were playing FIFA, right? And so he's like, what you guys doing in your life, Jed? I was like, well, I plan on being an engineer, and then when I finish school, I'll start a company. I was like, as a matter of fact, I now start a little small thing in school. He's like, what it is? Show him it. He's like, so what's holding you back from really like progressing this further? I was like, well, I'm still in school, so it's like a project. So, and he, at that point in time, he had different influences being in London. So he was talking about like investments and investing in property and starting up an investment firm and that kind of thing. And he was only actually like a year older than me, but his influences being in London in that sort of like financial center kind of way was way different compared to me being in Daytona Beach with a bunch of engineers, right? So it's real different. So he's like, guys, like, what's stopping you from starting your company now? Like, what's stopping you from pushing now? And then he gave us a few books. He's like, read Built to Last by Jim Collins, read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And so he fed us a few of these books, and that was literally the trajectory.
Right.
That was the total change.
Turning point.
For sure. That moment. And he always take credit for it. And he's
playing
like,
FIFA, huh?
Yeah. And he always take credit for it, and we always give him the credit for it. That he came and he like literally like changed the dial in direction.
He just kind of planted a seed.
For sure.
And it just kind of took over.
And it just literally like changed the trajectory of all of us. Because I have a core of 4 of us. So it's me, my brother, my best friend Issa Mohammed, whose father is SM Jalil, and then family. And then my other really good friend Keith Wilkie. And he comes from more of an engineering family. His dad worked at Presticon and that sort of thing. So he's very strong engineering. So he studied chemical engineering, and Issa studied manufacturing engineering. And so we were just like science engineering guys, right? At that point in time, right?
It's good to have the technical and the business too.
Exactly, right? So at that point in time, he just started feeding us books, and we put down FIFA, and we just started reading that whole summer, and with our like engineering mindset, we took a very like process oriented kind of way to everything. It's just so funny like how we treat everything in that way. So we found all the books that we think we should read because we started getting sucked in. And we started reading like a ton. And so now we have like this big library that we had created, and we just started reading more. And from that point on, we became businessmen who were studying engineering. So at no point in time in university I ever spent reading an engineering book other than what I needed to do for class. And everything became about, all right, so how do we help this business to grow and develop and that kind of thing? So we started this we started Eagle Trade, and then we rebranded it to a company called Axum, and we came up with like cool branding for it and that kind of thing. And Axum was like the central trading point in Ethiopia. And so that's how we came up with our name and that kind of thing.
This whole story is kind of like they've become Neo after that. Like, you know, when Neo plugs into the thing and he comes up and he's like, I know Kung Fu. You know, it's kind of like that.
Right? And then between the four of us, we decided like who's going to learn and do what. And so Keith went off and studied human resource management. So he got his master's in HR from LSE. And then I began studying marketing and branding. And then Nicholas started studying branding and product development and that sort of thing. And so he became our product manager. So for everything that we built there on, Nicholas was the product manager and I was the marketer. And then my friend Issa, he studied manufacturing engineering. And so he had like a broad skill set understanding of a lot, because that's what the degree focused on, and it focused on helping you run a company. So he essentially held up being the CEO role of us. And his brain, he's like super quick with numbers, super analytical, and so we always tell him that he's quickest to make a decision because he's able to like sift through things all the time. But as we get older, we realize it's not always the best decision. True. But he's because he's the quickest to actually come to some sort of decision. And then as we get older now, we realize like, all right, there are other factors to consider in that wouldn't necessarily like be the best thing for just an analytical brain or whatever. A lot of soft factors that growing up necessarily we wouldn't have placed so much value on, especially being engineers, right? Place all the value on like, all right, great numbers, like that makes logical sense, you know?
Exactly. It's always different things you need to pull from, and different people with different skills and
exactly
capabilities.
And so I became the marketer, and I started reading like books on marketing and branding, and everything that I've learned there on is self-taught in any marketing space or whatever. And we built this brand Axum in school, and we started making like $3,000 to $4,000 from it a month. And once we began and that was the first time we understood online advertising, right? So literally it was understanding like making sustained revenue from advertising on the site. So we got ads from Legacy Apartments, that was the brand. So they advertise to the students to live in their apartments. We got advertising from a few bars and from the pilot shop. And so it was like a sustained like $500, $600 a month, and they gave us, and just like clockwork, just money come in.
This is around what year?
Like 2008.
2008. Okay.
Yeah. And from there, like, I couldn't care less about finishing engineering degree or anything like that.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. From there, we didn't even go graduation.
So your boss it?
Yeah. So from there, we finish, but we come back
finished?
home. Yeah.
You finished.
Come back home. But I never like once show my engineering degree to anybody after like.
Right. Yeah, because you've always worked for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So you never had to pull out.
That's the last thing I was expecting to hear.
You never had to pull out the CV or anything.
Exactly.
So you come back to Trinidad and you're like bursting with all these ideas, and you have your previous experience from university and building a little business there. So I guess you're here and you're probably like racking your brain. Okay, so like, what do we need here in Trinidad?
Exactly.
So what came next?
Yeah. So in that process, right? So there's another summer now, a year gone by. We do this thing, we make some money with Axum, and actually, Issa and Keith in the UK, they started another company as well too. Similar space. So it's called Lux Lifestyle, and they gave students like discount cards, and they went around and formed relationships with a lot of businesses within the Cambridge city, and so they allow students to sign up to be a part of this program and give discounts if you're a part of Lux or whatever, and give them access to different nightclubs. And they went a different kind of route, but all similar, just trying to like understand business and that kind of thing, and all focus on students, right? Cool. So now next year, so we're like, all right, cool, you guys back. All right, they doing their masters, and so Nicholas and I not on that. We're like, all right, you only finished that, whatever. And so we home, and we the four of us now sitting down like, all right, so what industry we want to get into in the Caribbean, right? So once again, our very engineering way about doing things, we started looking at different industries, and we were like, what are the top trending industries? So the industries that have people that are established, all right, cool, we probably don't want to go there. What are the trending industries now? And where could we build to get a cash cow, basically?
Basically looking for a gap in the market.
Yeah, looking for a gap in the market.
And something that's untapped.
Right, right, exactly. But you could, so the incentive drive was like, what could be our initial cash cow to get to starting our first major tech company? Because what we had identified is that when we came back home, we were trying to like find businesses, and we couldn't find businesses in the way that we were find them in school now. Like you reach back home and you can't find like a hairdresser, and you don't know what's a real good restaurant and that kind of thing. We're like, we definitely want to start this, but like we have no money to start this. So
now around that time there was kind of Foursquare, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it wasn't huge in Trinidad, but some people were using it. I remember like older people would be like, why would I want to let anybody know
where I am?
You know, that's what everybody would say about Foursquare.
Exactly. So we know that we wanted to get into that space to help people like find businesses and that kind of thing. But we were like, I have no money to start this thing though. Like, all right. So and we decided, interestingly enough, that we wanted to get into the energy efficiency space. So after we narrowed down different industries or whatever, we were actually looking at like a truck wash. Like that was actually one of the things that came up on our list. Was like
truck wash. What is that?
Like, you ever think about like where like Jusamco and things get their trucks washed?
All right. Okay. A truck wash. Right. Okay. Like not a car wash, but a bigger one for trucks.
For the Mack trucks and
exactly. Yeah. That rank high on our list. We were like, it's like a decent capex, but I think it'd be printing money because all of the distributors like SM Jalil and Coke and everybody had to get their trucks washed. Where they get their truks washed now?
Good question.
And so we thought we
probably have a man on a ladder with a big hose. Exactly. That's probably what's going on right now.
Yeah, so we had to look into it, and we were like, all right, it might be a bit of a capex, but we look at the payback period of it, and we were like, we could secure our first set of contracts with this company, and then we go out and get a few more, and we just basically, from our perspective, it's like printed money. Because I was like, well, let's have a car wash, but like, who washing trucks? Nobody washing trucks. Gap in the market. Like, I gotta get money from all my family and to buy this truck wash equipment, and we about to like print money. So that was the mind frame, and then we were like, energy efficiency was another one, right? The green sort of space of making buildings sustainable, and we were really looking at that as well too. And the way life is work. My uncle, he lives in Seattle, Washington, approached us and was like, guys, I have a home automation company, but we're looking to take this automation into commercial, and we're now looking to, I'm now speaking to Republic Bank about doing a building with them. And I need a team in order to like execute this. And so we looked at it, and we were like, well, we were actually like looking at coming into the space, but we didn't know necessarily where to start. And so
so it was a good fit.
Exactly. It just aligned perfectly in that way.
It's like the newspaper on the ground.
Exactly. And so that then was another trajectory shift for us. And so we got into the energy efficiency space, the building sustainability space. And
what company was that?
The name changed a couple of times. So Item Energy Management.
Okay.
So Item stands for Information Technology Energy Management.
Okay.
Yeah, right? So we utilize IT to energy manage your building, right? And so we started Republic Bank, and we did, our first contract with them was with 12 buildings across Grenada, Barbados and Guyana.
Is that the sort of company where you do like energy audits?
Right,
and
exactly.
Right,
Yeah. So what we did, we specifically focused on the low-hanging fruit within a building's energy consumption. So within a building, you have three major consumers of energy. You have lighting, you have AC, and you have the equipment. Right? And so within the lowest hanging fruit, in terms of where we could just get in and make greatest impact, was in the lighting. And so we focused specifically on lighting energy audits and lighting retrofits.
I have a question there though. So I know like we're not really paying what we should be paying in Trinidad for energy. So is it tougher to kind of approach Trini companies because it's so low compared to what they're paying in Barbados and up the islands? Like, what's the difference there?
Exactly. So, like, majority of our business in that time when we were in that business came from outside of Trinidad. So, we were big in Jamaica, big in Barbados, Guyana, Grenada. We had a lot of contracts going between those countries. Yeah, and so from Republic Bank, we spun off and then did Scotia Bank in Jamaica and Guardian Life as well in Jamaica. And then Guardian. So, it became like a domino effect within, like, the insurance and finance space. And we were doing that. We did that business from 2011 to 2015 thereabout. And we made some good cash from it for sure. And then we took the cash that we got from there and we started first.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all right. So we could jump into first. Now, when did that idea come?
You're right. Yeah. So remember, go back and tell you that we wanted to start this business that allows people to like
because
find
you were saying that
we couldn't find it for ourselves, right?
It was possible in the US already, but Trinidad didn't really have one proper.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we kind of had the phone book. There was it Yella Direct or something, but it wasn't really huge.
It didn't really happen.
It wasn't much. There was some kind of online sites as well, but it was literally like a one-pager scrolling. It was basically like an online version of the phone book. There was nothing switchable really or proper.
Right, exactly.
So you saw like a need for that.
Right. And so we saw that need, and the whole goal with Item was to raise some cash so that we could begin investing and building this application.
Right.
So after we got that first contract with Republic Bank, we then went on this site called Sortfolio, and we were trying to find a development agency to work with that would help build the site, right? And so I remember like the first RFP that we created, we didn't even have a name for it or anything yet. The name was like ABC, right? Like ABC Inc., right? That's literally what we created, and then we created a scope of works, and we started off with a company in Bulgaria.
Right.
I remember you were telling me that Bulgaria.
Yeah, we started off with this company in Bulgaria.
How Bulgaria though? And
because
like
in Sortfolio, you could filter by types of companies that working on the same kind of products that you want to work on.
Right.
So
and
they would have worked on similar products, and
they had the experience.
Right. No. Well. So that's one filter, right? And so you'll still have like a bunch of companies. Then you filter by like budget, and so we're like, well. Like how much we think we want to spend, not knowing really how much. So we filtered and probably like said like $10,000 to $20,000 was like our budget for this, right? And so like these group of companies now work within this budget. And then we did some research and we found that like Eastern Europe had quality development talent for just a lot less. And so we then focused then on Eastern Europe, and then we narrowed down on a few companies, and we narrowed down eventually on this one company in Bulgaria.
Right.
Yeah. And my brother led the interaction. My brother Anissa led the interaction in terms of scoping the site and the design and what language.
I love the design. Kind of I thought the logo was great. The branding was great. Like from when you all had just the splash page, because that like for people in the digital marketing advertising industry, we were all in awe.
I remember
because there's well you're in it now, the social media digital group or whatever, and somebody kind of posted the link to the website, and I was like, everybody was like, what is this, who is this, and you all had a very cool video that was done to talk about like what's coming, and and you could sign up to be notified on a real nice looking splash page and everything. I mean, there was definitely like a lot of buzz and excitement.
So that's,
I mean, I think you all like there were a lot of things that you did right.
There
were a lot of things you did right.
Good strategy.
And I know the actual website. Well, maybe you could kind of go into detail about what the website was And, like if you all didn't stop, like what was the long-term plan? Like where did you want it to go?
Yeah,
because I kind of feel like you're going to add like another layer where shops could almost sell from their pages.
Wow,
to me that was like the obvious step. The next step. Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed. Most people don't know that.
No, well that's where I kind of saw it going.
Yeah.
Because you had your free page. So maybe start there. Talk about like what first was.
All right, So going through the process now, like me coming in with the marketing and the 5 Ps sort of thing, like positioning, right?
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing. And so we really try to narrow down on what is the focus that we want people to do on the site. So in business, there's always this one thing that people need to come to do, even though like they can do like a ton of things, right?
Yeah.
And so you need to have them do this one thing really well. So, like, for example, an example that is always given in the book that I read, I can't even remember the name of the book right now, was like, people go to a gas station, right? But the quick shop is the thing that's made the most money, right?
Right.
But people know, like, they go to a gas station, right?
Yeah.
But you're not seeing the quick shop advertising, right?
Yeah.
So it's always try and focus on one thing that you can do really well and get people to do this one thing really well, and then they'll begin spinning off and discovering other things that they can do, right?
Yeah.
So for us, we narrow down to like search and find a business.
Right.
So because that's the most basic thing that people need to do, right?
Yeah.
And so the goal for first really was we get all these businesses on, and we get people searching and engaging with these businesses from the perspective of like leaving reviews, checking in, just different interactions and engagements with the business.
And the businesses could have listed for free.
Right, exactly. And the business is listed for free.
Now
right?
you're plugged in a good bit as well yourself, right?
Yeah.
They didn't necessarily have to go on and
exactly. So you always face that chicken and egg situation, right?
Yeah.
Like, So we initially like scraped the internet and scraped from everybody that would have had stuff, and so you get a combination of like good data and crappy data, and then you had like a whole data cleansing process,
right.
And then like a whole other layer of cleansing whereby we were like, shit, we really need to go out there and like get proper stuff from these businesses, right? And so in that drive, in that like spark of like how are we going to do this, we said that we're gonna have like a launch event. And it's a launch event. We're going to get students to sign up, and we're going to take these students and have them go around the country. We map out the country.
Those were your first Mavens, I think.
Exactly.
I remember that.
Yeah. Right.
And they had the T-shirts, and they were literally beating the pavement, knocking on doors.
Exactly. So the core of it was data drive.
Right. At the beginning.
The core, the essential core of it is a data drive. Like we needed to validate the data that we had, right? Before we launch the product, so that at least when people come, they have how we ranked it was like we needed to have like the top businesses like that people go to most frequently. At least we have those things, right? And then like you have another layer of like second tier businesses, and then like the long tail. But we needed to have those businesses that we know that we're gonna have high traffic now on the site. And
I mean, I agree with you 100%. And I mean, even sites like so like Trinidad Cars for Sale, for example, is not the best looking website where you could find used cars for sale. And other people have tried to launch a better version, which they've successfully done, like better looking. But when you look at the database, they have no cars. So what's the sense? You know, you go to that website and you look around and like, man, this don't even make sense. I mean, even when it comes to the real estate websites, we call this website TrinidadRealtors.com, I think. Is a terrible interface. Sorry if you're listening. But the interface is terrible. But what they have is the biggest database of houses and land for rent or for sale, commercial properties or residential or whatever. And they have some other ones that are coming up. There's a plenty of keys and something else.
My bunch of keys.
Plenty keys.
Plenty of keys.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? But yeah, so you know, you're 100% right. I mean, you had to make sure that you had a huge database of businesses in there that's searchable and findable, or else people will go on the site, check it out, they will see nothing, and then they bust it.
And not come back.
Exactly. And how we ranked them, like I said, was like we had like a database of businesses already. And so we created our own internal rank, like what business is most important. Well, like some businesses have like a lot of high foot traffic already. So in food, you want to get every freaking KFC. You want to get every KFC. You want to get all the fast food outlets because people go in there already. So they're obviously going to be searching for that. They're going to be looking for the phone number. They're going to be looking for the address. They're going to be looking for things. So get those things that people already frequent versus like the Tanti's shop. She probably not have a lot of traffic. Right. So. And if people are able to find that on the site, like they'll be super ecstatic, but they expect you to have the KFC.
Exactly.
Right? So we created a list of like businesses that we know would have high foot traffic, ensure to have that. And that's the list that we gave to the Mavens. And at the end of the day, like when they're going to get the information from the top foot traffic businesses, they came back, they're like, well, we passing a lot of other companies, so we should get them. I was like, well, just get them one time.
While you're there.
Get them one time while you're there. Get them one time while you're there. But let me scroll back a little bit. Wheel back. Wheel back a little bit, right? So when we came up with this idea of like this data drive, like then we were like, well, this is going to be like a huge marketing drive for us as well, right? So then we approached a couple of companies to sponsor our launch event. The launch event was to launch the brand and to recruit these Mavens, right? So in going to different companies to launch the brand, we came up with our launch video already. And so, because we thought that was like a prerequisite for going to these companies, right? Get like a nice video. We just press play. People understand what we're trying to go after and that kind of thing. And the video was nice. It was well done.
It was very well
done,
right?
So we went into Digicel, and that time Sasha was COO. Sasha Thompson was COO, and John Dells was CEO, right?
I think she's at WePay now.
Yeah, right? I think same role, COO, right? So at that point in time, she was COO. And we went in and we played the video, and she was like, wow, guys, like this is some really good stuff. Like this makes sense, like I could see this really working. And then and then she's like, we definitely gonna sponsor you guys. So she agreed to sponsor. She's like, she brought to the marketing team. She's like, let me know what you guys need. So we were like, well, real fundamental thing that we needed was phones, right? We needed guys to like go to the different locations, and they utilize our app. We wanted them to check in and like fill in a bunch of data on each of the locations that they went into, so we have every single data point down to the point.
So the Mavens were plugging in the info right on the app. Well, that makes sense, right? Because you're not going to have them put it in some form or some Word doc, and then you have to like transfer.
And map locations as well.
Exactly.
So how many businesses did you all plug in eventually? Do you remember?
Just under 5,000 businesses.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So in the scheme of businesses, that mightn't be like the full gamut, but it was 5,000. I think most important businesses, right? So we went to her for sponsorship. Maybe like 2 weeks later. Digicel has like a monthly board meeting. Sasha called me back and she's like, hey Kyle, I just wanted to talk to you because I just came from board meeting, and what would you think about Digicel investing in First? I'm like, what?
I was like, no. That's mine.
What? I'm like, what? Because that was like the furthest thing from our mind. Like, I went for sponsorship, and she agreed to sponsorship, and that was a win. We all high-fiving each other in the office. No, we're crushing it. Yeah, we get Digicel as a sponsor. Excellent. They're paying for the phones. Yeah, great, Getting their branding. We're going to put it on the t-shirt.
It was more than you could ask for.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the call like it was yesterday, right? I get the call and then she's like, what do you think about that? And I was like, I'm not sure what you mean, right? Because
you're kind of stunned though. You heard what she said, but it wasn't.
It didn't like.
Yeah, she's like, so we'll have to go through a due diligence process and everything, and we need to figure out exactly like how much money it would be and what stake we would have and that sort of thing. But we got a directive from our chairman to go find technology companies in our territories, and interestingly enough, like he asked everybody, all of the executives at their board meeting, was some of the top technology companies, apps that people using in their countries, and people were saying Facebook and YouTube, etc., etc. And he was like, no, what is a local one
that we could,
that they use? and nobody had answers. And then I said, well, I just met with a company, and she played our video, and then everybody was like, oh wow, this looks really good. And Dennis O'Brien was like, well, if they're good, find them, invest in them.
Right.
And that was another serendipitous trajectory moment that just kind of set things off in a direction that we couldn't have calculated.
Right. So that kind of helped out with funding to kind of take it to the next level.
Man, that didn't help out. That just like set us in like a freaking stratosphere that we just didn't really like plan for necessarily like that quickly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that happened in, let's say, June, July. That's when we launched the brand in 2014. 2013, sorry. And then by April, we got our first investment. It was $1.75 million US for 25% of the company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So that's like what, like about like just under 12 million or 11 million TT. Yeah.
Let that sink in, fella.
Yeah.
Wow. So
the numbers weren't made public by anybody, but the splash was clear.
Yeah. So like features and functionality of the website and like, so where were you? So at the time you could have there was the app, there was the website. You could search, you could view, you could write reviews.
Yeah.
Businesses could have a free profile, and then there was like a paid one as well.
Yeah.
Like, what was the plan for monetization?
Yeah. So
how was that supposed to work?
So we made money through two ways. Through businesses had like a subscription, whereby the benefit of the subscription was that in search, when people search for business things in your category, you would rank on top.
Yeah.
As well as we had a database of emails. If anybody knew anything about First, is that they get a ton load of freaking emails.
I thought the emails were really well done. Actually, like it did not feel like oh god, this thing again.
Well,
like I thought they were.
Last to you, some people like kind of complained to me as well. So it was a mixture for sure. A mixture for sure. So we had
so there was
huge database.
So there was preferred placement. Kind of like search ads kind of thing.
Exactly.
Where you'd be promoted in a specific category or whatever. And then wasn't there like a pro version of the profile?
Yeah.
Did that ever launch?
Yeah, no. It didn't end up launching. So
the
core way that we made money was the search advertising, ranking to the top. Banner advertising on the site, and then being a part of our weekly email database that would go out to our like 150, 200,000 people or something, right?
Okay.
So at that point in time, I don't think anybody had like a database that big.
And then so those were the core features at the time. And then what was supposed to be the rollout? What was supposed to come next?
Yeah. So essentially, once we get those businesses online, we get the people interacting with those businesses on a regular basis. Facebook is so our competitor obviously is like Facebook, your Facebook profile, right? Instagram wasn't so big at that point in time yet, right? We didn't have business profiles on Instagram as much yet, right? And so on Facebook, at that point in time, Facebook redoing the algorithm, and when businesses post, you keep on ranking low and not reaching your whole database, right? So you build up all this following on Facebook of like 10,000, 20,000 people, but then when you post something, when you reach like
it's a pay to play. It's pay to play basically.
And so we said that our angle would be that all the followers that you gather on your first profile, you reach all of them all the time.
Right.
And so the goal with First was that each business would build up their own set of followers that they would be able to reach. When somebody follow your page on First, you would get updates through the First app on like new products.
There was a kind of news feed as well, wasn't there? I just remember that. Yeah, there was a sort of news feed homepage kind of thing, and you could view like activity and that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So the goal was to give businesses a direct play to the people that are interested in their businesses, which would provide better benefit for them than Facebook. So they just pay us a subscription to be able to interact with their followers on a regular basis. So you launch a new product and you just you just update it on the app, and then ping, all your followers know that you launch a new product, compared to on Facebook where you post something, 10,000 followers, you probably like 300 people see it or something, right? Yeah. And so that was the direction that we're going in. And then on top of that, we were getting businesses to list their products.
Right.
So then the goal there was two things. In the services space, so like restaurants and hairdressing, that sort of thing, you'd be able to book your
appointments or reservations.
Book your appointments or make reservations, exactly. And so you'd be paying another tier of subscription for that. And then in terms of the product businesses, being able to sell your products through first.
So they would have added like an e-commerce layer to that.
Exactly. So that's the next direction, whereby every company in Trinidad now has like instead of you necessarily focusing on building your website, you have your first following, and then you can sell your products through your first following.
Listen, I think it's a great idea. It's still a great idea today.
Yeah.
What went wrong?
Yeah.
What went wrong?
Yeah.
What went wrong? Yeah. I mean, you've still turned out to. I mean, every experience is worth something, right?
For sure.
And coming out of that, you've found other success.
Yeah.
But what went wrong? And if you could go back in time, like what would you have done differently?
Yeah. Yeah. So what went wrong? Like most people don't know, right? Like that's always the question that people ask, right? So we got the money from Digicel, and at that point in time, we were moved from handling or control from Digicel Trinidad to Digicel Group, right? And on Digicel Group, there was a guy that Digicel brought in from a venture firm that was meant to like lead their investments in things outside of their core business, as well as like his experience. He was the CEO of Group, I think, at that point in time. So he had really good understanding of the Digicel business and good relations and good respect. And so when he said to do certain things as relates to first, people acted because he wasn't like on the periphery on the side to do this thing. He had like understanding of the whole business. And so we got the investment in 2014, and January 2015 we had our first board meeting, and he was on our board, right? And we had like some really outrageous numbers in terms of what we were trying to do. So we set up a target of like we set stretch targets, right? So we set up a target of like $2 million in our first year US revenue. We went into our first board meeting.
That's a lot of pressure to make on your first year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, big tech companies in the States, like look at Instagram and Twitter, like some of them making no money for like 5, 6, 10 years, and because the investments are sort of carrying them through. To make that kind of money on your first year is quite difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but we fell short, like significantly short of our target, but we did really well. Like we did just over 900,000 in revenue. US.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
So it demonstrated a need in the marketplace that we were filling, that people were definitely interested in and wanting to see more of where this thing was going, for sure, right? And from that point,
so the first year you all fell short.
We fell short of our target, but we
fell short of the target, but you made some money.
Yeah, exactly. But the way that we set up the company, in terms of the financial structure, was very much similar to like whether like if we had got an investment in the US with US ecosystem, whereby like we set these really aggressive goals, and instead of focusing on being profitable, we focused on just growth and revenue. And so while we generated how much revenue, we were bringing about 100,000 US a month. Right? But the goal was to grow quickly and aggressively such that you're able to raise another round of funding at a higher valuation, which is what you see in the US, because you have that ecosystem, right? You have options of investors, you have people who understand the space, you have so much, like there's a full ecosystem, right?
I think there's a lot more pressure in Trinidad to be profitable faster. Nobody gonna carry you for like,
that's why you had that high
5-10 years here in Trinidad without turning a profit.
Exactly. Nobody gonna carry you for a year. Like it's just not.
Now tell me something, because from the outside as well, because I was in the agency world back then. And like you all were hiring, pretty good agency people, like pulling people from different advertising agencies and whatever. So I was like, well, boy, them men must be paying some salaries there, boy. So I mean, like to me, a tech startup should try to be lean as possible. Like, do you think in hindsight that y'all could have been a bit leaner as far as like personnel and I mean, you all had a building and thing, not so like
So this is cool. A chef made sale now come, like every time one comes you see it. Bro, like it's crazy, like thinking back, right? So the whole concept essentially was like be super aggressive.
Yeah,
right? It was just be aggressive.
Because if we get the best people,
exactly,
and to get the best people, for them to leave like a top agency or whatever, they can't walk into some shed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
so I guess to convince them to come, they had to walk into something
that feels good,
and
right?
you had to pay them a certain salary.
Right.
And,
Exactly. So we were able to attract some of the best talent in marketing and sales and that sort of thing, and some really good people because like once they left first, they went on and was in good spaces. They got paid really well. So coming back to the first board meeting that we had, right? So we were like, all right, guys, good job. You didn't hit your targets, but you guys definitely making some good impact. And then we spoke about like our numbers in terms of the amount of people that we had, the kind of retention that we had, and then the gaps that we see within the product and in sales and in different aspects of the company and how we wanted to fill those gaps and that sort of thing. And so the first goal during that meeting was get you guys to revenue neutral or positive as soon as possible, right? So we were meant to move our team into part of Digicel building in Trinidad and then in their offices in the different territories that we're in, Jamaica and Barbados.
Right.
Digicel's sales team was meant to begin selling our product as well. So we met with their group head of sales in Miami and and then like met with the different sales teams in the different territories. They preloaded our application on all their devices coming in all their territories.
Boom, that's huge.
Yeah, that's massive, right? And so that reduced our customer acquisition cost as well.
Oh, so you were doing building that database of thing outside of Trinidad as well?
Yeah.
So the plan was to go regionally?
Yeah, the plan was to go across all their territories. And we as well then...
That's huge. It's still a good idea today. It's still a good idea today.
Right, so we got all that done and he got all that set in train for us. Because of his position, he's able to like set all those things in motion very quickly for us. And then he got cancer.
Oh, wow. God.
Yeah. So that's not known. So the man went to a board meeting in February, the following board meeting. He ended up not going to the meeting. He ended up, I think it was in New York, he ended up going to the hospital for a stroke. When he went in for the hospital for the stroke, they realized it was a bit more. Realized the man had cancer.
Right.
And then from the time he wasn't there to really drive our agenda through Digicel.
Yeah.
Just
kind of put back burner.
We were basically passed hand to hand, but there was no one person in the company that really had the understanding of tech and understanding of the Digicel business and being able to help us drive our agenda through Digicel.
Right.
Things just basically fell through the cracks in terms of the support.
Right.
Wow.
And us naively, from as young guys, we didn't necessarily have like a second plan, if this didn't work out, like then what? So we were all in with Digicel, all in terms of like how we structure the company, and we eventually burn out the cash.
Right.
So from January till about July, that's how much cash we had left. And we tried how to pivot to try and like get things going, and actually we spent quite a bit of time trying to talk to Digicel to get the support that we needed, which ended up being more time wasted and still holding on to the heavy burden of the team and that sort of thing. And then by the time Digicel got a person to replace the guy that we had there, Andy, he came on and it was the most depressing meeting that we had. Like,
can imagine.
They brought on a former CEO of Digicel, which didn't have the context that the other guy had that came from Silicon Valley.
Right.
He came from the venture capital space. So he was a former CEO. So all he understands was the telecommunications industry. And the meeting that we had, I remember it in the room, he's like, guys, the direction Andy was taking you guys is not the direction I'm planning to take. And we were like, well, we had a lot of plans to reduce our costs and help us drive revenue. And right now we have a cost structure that we can't really support further anymore. And so we need like urgent action on some of these things that we set out that are in email agreements and these kind of things, right? And he's like, I don't think that's the best direction for you guys. And and that was it. That was it. And I remember sitting down in our room and then looking outside to the whole team, and I was like, wait, is everybody going?
You took me on a journey there, but from the super highs of Digicel is all in, and y'all are like high-fiving, down to that's like up and down there, bro. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
And so like what happened? How did you how did you all regroup after that? And
so at that point in time, then we had to figure out, like, we still held on for a bit, thinking we could try and like pivot in some way and figure this out on our own. But the reality was that that just couldn't happen, and we gradually we had a conversation with the team, like, I know the conversation that we had at Digicel, and it was a real sad moment, like real tears pass, and people was just real sad, and for me personally though, I had the weight of the sales and marketing team. So I had like the biggest team in the company. So I had a lot of people just
all the employees basically had to lose their jobs. Lost their jobs.
So that was real heavy. But for me personally, in that, I felt quite frankly a bit relieved, because unfortunately it's very important to be mindful.
Pressure and the weight.
Exactly.
And you're a young guy too.
Right.
And you now have these huge, sales figures to make. And then you have all these employees that are sort of under you, and they depend on that salary to pay their bills.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I was 27 at that time. And my brother was 25.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. So that gives you some context in terms of age and experience, right? And lack of experience as well, right?
So do you think kind of going all in on Digicel, I mean, because the benefit was the money and the knowledge and that kind of thing. But do you think without them, you could have done it and not sort of been so dependent?
No,
or you had to get that level of investment.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think we would have. In order to make this business work, that's why you're not seeing anybody else doing it, right?
Yeah,
it's still a good business today, like 4 or 5 years later, because it's not a cheap thing to actually do. It's quite intensive in terms of resources to get done. And so it's not easy. And even now, like even as I build up, gain a little bit of my own successes post that, I'm just not going to jump back into that at all, like without a significant cash base to be able to make certain things happen. Spend any cash differently, but it's just not cheap. It's just not cheap to get that business the quality that you needed to be done really well.
So what came next after that? Coming out of
that? Man. So coming out of that,
how long did it take you to like kind of dust yourself off and rise from the ashes, like the phoenix?
Yeah, for sure. So everybody took it differently, right?
Sorry, but I feel like it would be like a tabanka, like worse than a tabanka. Like you're not eating, you're listening to sad music.
Definitely, it was a bit of all of that, right? Between the 4 of us as the 4 founders of the company, we all took it in different ways. At that. So post that, the final conversation that we had with the team was in like July. That's when everybody got sent home, July 2015. Yeah, that was heavy. And then post that, sitting down in the office, going through, taking off the lights. This is literally some movie shit, bro. This is some freaking movie shit.
I kind of feel like you're on the chair with the psychologist, I need like a lounge chair. I'm in the building and I'm taking off the lights.
Yeah, definitely. So we invested in office space and thing, right? So we had like nice office design, literally we set up this whole structure to be like the tech company of the Caribbean. Like
it was. I was in awe.
And we understood as well that the importance of the external branding and for employee pride and sense of self-confidence and sense of feeling mission and purpose driven and that sort of thing. And so we invested a lot in external branding such that people felt very happy to say that they worked at first. There was a sense of pride to say that they worked at first. And that's how we were able to attract a lot of good talent and pay them a bit less. based on the vision that we sold. And so that's why some people at the end were a bit like mad at us as well too.
Right.
Like, bought this vision, this thing he told me, and you know, and so some people were bitter with us, especially how things ended and how we could have dealt with things better coming on to the end. But it's the way to everything. You just don't even want to deal. You don't want to deal. You don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to deal with it. And dealing with it is more like as a matter of like, facing the music, you know?
Yeah.
It was heavy, right? It was heavy to deal with. And so you kind of felt like you just wanted to just deal with what you had to. And you had a lot of emotions that you had to try and like balance as well as your own. And quite frankly, you just didn't have the maturity to deal with all of that, you know?
Yeah.
For sure. At that point in time, you just become like, self-preservation.
Right. Yeah.
And
kind of start to shut things out.
Yeah, for sure, right? So I apologize for anybody that ended up feeling really crappy about it, for sure. But so post that now, between the four of us, we were like, all right, well, we still have a ton of bills, and we ended up in a little bit of debt still from it, because we ended up having some teams run on for longer than they should have, like our Bulgaria team, and then some external teams and that sort of thing run on, and then rent, and so we had some, and we were like, shit, like, we need to figure out how we paying for all of this and paying off all of this. And so next sucky thing that we didn't do as young guys is that when we raised the capital, we didn't pay ourselves. People thought like I had this bank of cash. I had this bank of cash somewhere. So we were like the real sort of, at least we've in our minds put ourselves in a position of like these mercenary entrepreneurs, like like the company before all else, you know, like when we raise the money, like we went and buy 2 Elantras. You know, like we have $11 million in the account and we buy 2 Elantras. Yeah. I still had Elantra, man, as we call him, like every so often, you want a new Elantra. I'd already had moved out to my parents' house from my the first company, right? And so we were living okay, but like not balling by any means at all. Like, you know, like I didn't have no excess cash in my bank account. We weren't paying ourselves.
Was the first company still going, or is it?
Yeah. So it was running at the same time.
Okay, but when so you still had an income, but you weren't paying yourself through first.
No, exactly. Okay. Even though like the staff thought I had some kind of cash hidden somewhere. Like it's just not the case, right? So when shit hit the fan with first, and we're trying to figure out first, and first is our baby. Remember, this thing was our cash cow, right? Yeah. All the attention came into first in that period of like January to July, and then we ended up like messing up some contracts with the item which we rebranded to Novus, because we ended up separating from my uncle who we started the business with. And so,
Novus is the name that I'm familiar with.
Right, Novus. Right. Yeah, Novus, right? So we rebranded to Novus. So my uncle ended up going one way and we ended up going another way, right? And so Novus, and we ended up like messing up some contracts with Novus because we were initially focused on like balancing both companies and both of them running well and doing great, right? Yeah. But then all the attention went to first and trying to recover first, and salvage whatever we could.
Yeah.
Novus ended up messing up a couple of contracts, and we had the stress of contracts messed up here, and then the company going to shit on this side here, and we were like, Jesus Christ, like we're done. Like I'm done. Company, business, entrepreneurship, I'm done. Hold on, pause.
Mom, I think you were right. I should have just been an aerospace
engineer. Wow. So in August now we reel back on as much as we could. Like everybody went home. We ended up like keeping like 3 people on the team. Sophie White, a guy called Akil Ali. No, that's the 2 people. Yeah. Oh yeah, and my designer. We had a designer. He's from Indonesia.
Okay. Right.
Crazy story about him, like a side story. He named his daughter Firsta.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. Wow. I thought it was like a nickname or something until like he showed like the birth paper and he's so proud about it.
Wow.
He named his daughter
F1?
First. No, Firsta.
Okay, IFI.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so her name is Senja Firsta Mazduki. She's from Indonesia.
Okay.
Yeah. And the story is that we went out to get different designs for projects that we were doing, right? And We didn't choose his design. We chose somebody else's design, but we still gave him some money because he was sick at that point in time, and he was like, "Man, I'm really sick, and I just need some. I was really looking forward to getting this money to paying some bills." And we like paid him the full thing, even though because he sent us that story. And from there and helping him out there, like he became like our most avid soldier. Like everybody on the first team knows about him. His name is Fajar. Everybody on the first team knows about Fajar because he became the ninja warrior designer. Like he's so fast. Like everybody's like, "Why is he so fast?" Like he like fastened everybody like designing up things, right? And then being able to learn like how to build sites and JavaScript and CSS and like a bunch of things that he just didn't know to do. He just learned to do it because we needed him to do it.
Wow.
And he became like the most strongest soldier. Like to this day, we still working with him. He's on our constant payroll for life, basically. Like
Nah, he did great work.
All the
first stuff looked great.
Right, exactly. So he became like our soldier, right? So anyway, so that's the 3 people I ended up keeping. Trying to figure out what we're gonna do next, and the pivot ended up being that the businesses that we signed on. So we had like Courts, we did some work with Republic Bank, we did work with SM Jaleel, we did work with quite a bit of businesses, right? We had like 300 businesses we actually like signed up with first paying with us, right? We ended up like they ended up saying, well, y'all did so well in this marketing space for yourselves, like y'all build a really good brand, y'all understand the digital thing. How about y'all begin helping us?
Right.
And so Trajectory move into first digital marketing agency.
Right, okay.
And now we work with like SM Jaleel and their drink brands, and we doing some work we end up doing tons of different companies. We work with Beausoleil, we do work with Guardian, we do a bit of work with RBL, we do like covering a whole gamut of companies now that we did a bit of like digital marketing work with based on our work experience with First.
Right.
And so that's the trajectory that we take, and then that became a bit of the cash cow, and that's where First
so today First is like a digital agency, digital marketing agency, basically.
Okay. Cool. But in that period of time from August to December 2015, each of us went on like a mental sabbatical. Like we just
take a break.
Tired. We were just tired, like real drained. And my boy from Jamaica, he hosts conferences in Jamaica, had approached me before while we had now raised money for First, and he was like, "Bro, like I really want to bring this conference to Trinidad, and I think y'all is real good guys to do it." And I'm like, "Dog, I don't have time for this thing. Like, I don't have time for your conference, bro." Like, I tell this story all the time, and he's always laugh, right? And I was just like, "Yeah, cool. This sounds nice, but I just don't have time for that, right?" I know somebody I could put you on too, though, and I just never put him on to anybody, but you know. And then
you see, you still had that banker, you know.
No.
You was free to get into something big again.
No. This is when we had initially raised the money. At that point in time, when I already had cash in bank, right?
Okay.
And we're now running, right? So
this was while First was.
He had initially approached me then, right?
And
then when you hear about First, and it not working out, right? He approached me in like September 2015.
Right.
And
are you ready for me now?
That's exactly what he said. I was like, "You're an asshole." But fine, cool. Tell me about this conference idea you have. Like, all right, whatever. Cool. I might have more time on my hands now.
Time for me now.
Basically, he's like, so, You think you have time now?
I hear you have time for me now. Just inject it.
I was like, "Bro, you're an asshole." But
so the conference. So he's the one that started it. It was going already.
Yeah. So he was in the line of bringing big business to Jamaica. So he was focused on more business conference on that side.
Okay.
And he wanted to get into tech conferences, but like he didn't have the credential necessarily.
Right.
And in thinking about like tech in the Caribbean, I think like we did a good job of creating a good brand for ourselves, and so it was us or Gabriel Abed Bit, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's the guys from Bit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so he approached us, and the four of us, the three of them didn't take him on, and I was like, "Guys, you keep on asking, what do you think? You want to do this?"
Yeah.
And nobody really responded, and I was like, "Well, I guess it'll just be me and you."
Okay.
And he said, "Well, I have another business partner, a guy that he met when he went to the World Economic Forum, and So it was the three of us that then did the first Tech Beach. Yeah.
So talk about Tech Beach. What is it? What is the conference?
Yeah, so Tech Beach was born out of the idea that, not the idea, just the understanding that the ecosystem in the region just doesn't exist. And so my boy Kirk Anthony Hamilton, that's the guy from Jamaica, he's like, bro, you can't let your experiences from first die. They need to be the stepping stone to something else. And I think this is the next thing else that you need to go into. A rising tide raises all boats in harbor. And so if you want to get people to help you and do well with you on your next startup, it'll be more beneficial for you to focus on raising the whole ecosystem than just focusing on just your own self in the next company. Right?
That's some beautiful advice.
Right? And so
excellent
advice. And so he
yeah.
was like, your needs will end up being a speck in the perspective of the whole.
Right.
And so your little speck, and it fine will be successful, but you'll now have the impact and access to so much more. And with that perspective is what we birthed Tech Beach with. The vision for Tech Beach is to be that bridge between the major technology hubs of the world and our region. Right? And to give us more access to the amazing people that are doing things on the leading edge of technology, and have technology be a driver for economic growth independent of what country you're in. Because technology now is not about, well, you're a tech company. Technology is cross-cutting across every company, every sector in your company. You need to understand, you need to have a digital strategy.
It's and integrated.
Right, exactly. So that is what Tech Beach was birthed out of. And we started in the first year. In December, one of my friends from CIC introduced me to a guy in San Francisco who was living there. He's a Trinidadian fellow. He went to Hillview. A guy called Larry Hercules.
Okay.
He used to work back in the day, he worked at TSTT, and then he left TSTT, and he ended up now working at AT&T, and he's the senior director of big data at AT&T.
Okay.
Right?
Sound like a big work.
Yeah. He had a big title and a lot of access to people in San Francisco, right?
Right.
And my friend from Trinidad met him at a conference, and he was talking to him, and he's like, "Dog, you need to meet my friend Kyle. Like, he's the tech man in Trinidad." Thing, right? And so I ended up meeting him in Christmas of 2015. And we end up like hitting it off, like he's like, yeah, looking to bring some people for Carnival in 2016, Carnival or whatever. I was like, yeah, all right, cool, I can help you. He's like, well, yeah, you should come to San Francisco, like feel the vibes out, get re-inspired again, and see where your next thing is, right? I didn't even tell him about this conference that this man come to me with. I was like, because at that point in time, when he approached me as well, I was like, all right, cool, I'll help you out with this thing, right?
Right, you weren't planning to get involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Like, I sell myself short, quite frankly, in the start, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I have a marketing skill, I can help you out, and like a decent networking, I could meet some people, and cool, like, don't ask me to do much more. Right? Literally, that's how it was, right? And in the first Tech Beach, like, I didn't do as much as I did now, right? Like, nothing close. So, because I was trying to think of like the next company I'm going to start and making more money and trying to like make money with this agency thing and figure it out and live, right? This conference was like not anything, right? And it took me a little while to buy in, and how concise I told you the vision was, it was not what we figured it out to be at that point in time. It was like a conference. Like what I said concisely and what you buy into now is like what we collectively like came up with and figured out.
It evolved to that.
Exactly, right? So at that point in time, it was just like a conference thing, right? So, cool. And then I met this Hercules guy, and Hercules was like, dog, yeah, cool, help me out with Carnival, but come up to San Francisco. And then I had a sister in from college. He was real good in college, and I didn't see her for a while. And she moved to San Francisco. And I was like, yeah, looking to come to San Francisco because I meet this other guy. And she's like, well, I have like a 4-bedroom. And so I was going to end up sleep on the couch by this guy or end up staying in one of her bedrooms. And I ended up going, staying by her. And we was real good in college, and we didn't see each other for a while, and then just like connect back like how we was back then. And it's a platonic relationship. Like, we're real good, and I guess that's what helped it be as good as it has been. Whereby like now I had a place to stay in San Francisco, and if anybody knows anything about San Francisco, the cost of living is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yes.
And she have a 4-bedroom, so she doing all right.
Yeah, for real. That's a good point.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah, so she doing all right, yeah. And so from there is when once again, the trajectory changed.
Yeah.
Trajectory just...
Turning points, but...
Yeah.
So you're in San Francisco, you're making contacts, connections to kind of bring people down to Tech Beach.
Yeah, well, so that's... The thing is the approach that we take with Tech Beach is real different to how a lot of other people take with conferences or events that they have. Typically, people would take an approach whereby they look for people that they want, they send out emails, it might be cold, and it's a very business relationship that they have with the people, right? Mine was, I bring my Caribbean-ness to it.
Yeah.
My Caribbean-ness is literally like a house line kind of vibe. Exactly this brand, this style.
Yeah.
I take it to Tech Beach.
Yeah.
So when I went to San Francisco, Hercules was like he's actually the node. So my friend, she's not in the tech space at all. She was literally the space that I stayed in and allowed me to stay there for extended periods of time. So on my first trip, I went there for a month. Yeah, so like typically when you go on business trips, you're not going anywhere for a month, you're going for a week. You set up meetings and you go have the meetings and tell them about what you're trying to do and you leave because you can't stay there for that long. Like, bills running up. So I end up going there and able to stay there for a month period of time, which gives a sort of like comfort, and it's not a transactional relationship that you have with the people that you meet. It end up being more of like
you can hang out with them,
exactly.
With them on a personal level.
Exactly.
Build deeper connection.
Right, exactly.
The best way
and so
to put
it isn't rushed, and so a lot of the introductions that he formed, boom.
Boom.
Best feeling.
Another sale there on
Chef Made.
We gotta get into Chef Made too.
Right? A lot of the connections that you form, we end up having it very casual. We end up going to dinner, we end up going to the bars, we end up going to the nightclubs. So you're getting to see people in different aspects and not in just their job now. You know? And so we end up building genuine relationships. I remember one of the first people he introduced me to, a guy called Will Hayes. He's the CEO for a company called Lucid Works. And Lucid Works is a company that does search.
That name is real familiar.
Look him up, right? So they specialize in artificial intelligence search, right? Search technology. So like I think like they power these search that's in the iPhone and that kind of thing, right? So they do enterprise level search. So we end up meeting Will, right? He introduced us to Will. We went to dinner with Will. Will take us to dinner. So my brother ended up coming up and meet me, and then Issa coming up and meet me as well, right? So Will was like, Hercules told me to meet you guys, and I just wasn't sure what kind of guys you were or whatever. So we had dinner, we talk and get comfortable. He's like, well, clearly you guys are a bit like cool, you know? Like sometimes when you meet people or whatever, especially in San Francisco, like you don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know. Like, but you just need to be open, and that's the next cool thing as well too. The culture that we try to bring, a sense of openness and no hierarchy.
Which is a very Caribbean thing, I think.
Yeah. But in terms of like the executive access in the Caribbean, like that don't exist.
That's true. That's true.
That's true.
Not on that level.
So exactly. So the fact that I could meet with a CEO in San Francisco that take the time to go to dinner with us and chill, it's just not something that happens in our region. And that's the next thing. The thing in the culture in San Francisco is that understand that almost anybody could be the next somebody. And so most people take the time to listen to almost anybody.
And they would take you seriously because this guy could be the next
exactly. Indeed. And so ended up going and meeting with him, and then he was like, oh, you guys look chill, so how about from dinner we went to a couple bars, and then he was like, well, you know what else we could do? We could go to this club Temple. We ended up going to a nightclub. Man buy bottles in the club. We had like such a freaking amazing time. After the nightclub, we went out, strip club. First time we meet any man, right? First time we meet any man.
He got comfortable real quick.
Right?
He went from like, I'm not too sure about you guys. You know what? I like you guys. Let's do this.
Basically, and that there is not an anomaly. That's not an anomaly. That's actually like so commonplace in that environment. And he ended up coming to the first Tech Beach, speaking at it. Now his company is a sponsor. He hired 2 people from the Caribbean. Now he looking to like nearshore with companies in Jamaica, and
for people who might be listening and don't know, so like what could you expect at Tech Beach?
So at Tech Beach we started off essentially with just panel type conversations with fireside chats and panels and
it's in Jamaica. Yeah. Where in Jamaica exactly?
Yeah, is in Montego Bay, Jamaica. The reason why we had it in Jamaica, I could give you.
And how many days is it?
Yeah, 3 days.
It's a 3-day conference. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's called Tech Beach Retreat, and that's the goal. We say, want it to be a retreat. We want people to get away from their normal environment, come and chill by the beach and be productive. Kind of sounds counterproductive, but it actually ends up being very productive because people inhibitions are like a lot lower. They get a lot more comfortable, and you get to connect across your passions versus your positions, which is what tends to happen at conferences, you know.
Yeah.
People lead by I am the
exactly,
and this is what we. Versus at Tech Beach is more like I'm Jack or I'm Kyle, and these are things that I really care about, and this is what I like, and you know. And so our positioning recently, actually, we got it from a girl that works at the Galena. No, the Observer in Jamaica, right? One of the leading papers there. She's like, what I like about Tech Beach is that people come to Tech Beach to connect over their passions and not over their positions.
Right.
I was like,
beautiful.
I'm taking that. I am taking that. What was that again? Say it again. People connect over their passions, not their positions. I was like, that is golden.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. And like we bring startups to the space, and they're able to connect with a lot of people that they wouldn't normally get access to in digital marketing or in your sales or in your product development or in design.
So people are coming from all over the Caribbean.
Yeah. We have like good showing across the region. Just actually yesterday, crew of 8 companies from, the person that led the purchase was in Martinique.
Okay.
But it was a OECS initiative to bring companies from a lot of the small islands to Tech Beach. And so they sent in 8 companies from small islands to Tech Beach this year.
Right. And in terms of the attendance, is like what kind of people? Like very like developer types, or is it like entrepreneurial tech people, or like what is the So the demographic of the people that come to Tech Beach ranges. So the core of it is a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of executives, because what we provide is specifically catered to those 2 audiences. Right.
The executives, because they're the ones that are able to buy a lot of the tickets easily and be able to sponsor and that sort of thing.
Right.
And then the startups, because that's
they look into future-proof their business.
Exactly.
The future of their business. And how could tech be used.
So we have representation from quite a bit of the companies around the region. So Caribbean Airlines sends their head of software engineering.
Right.
They've been a partner with us for the last couple of years. NCB in Jamaica, Sagicor. We get a good bit of attendance from quite a bit of the companies.
And as far as speakers, who comes on?
Yeah, and then so
I think I saw Jack Dorsey and one.
Exactly. So we have like over 60 speakers that fly in for Tech Beach.
That's a lot.
That's
a lot. So it's a jam-packed day then. If it's over the course of 3 days. Weekend.
Exactly. And so the whole goal really is getting them to connect on a very like non-hierarchical way, in a very comfortable setting, and facilitate business happening in a more real, comfortable way, and not transactional. Connect because you like the person, you like what they're doing, you know. And so surveys that we've done at Tech Beach, we found that over 60% of people end up doing business after they leave Tech Beach. And that number is real high. I think about the amount of conferences that you go to and who you're actually doing business with after that conference, you know. And that number is high, I think, because we've designed the experience to increase the likelihood that people do business, because people connect on a certain level of like comfort versus just transactional, you know.
I mean, I think you kind of rubbing shoulders with like-minded people as well.
Exactly.
You're all kind of looking for something similar.
And we cap the amount of attendees. We have 350, so it's not meant to be big at all.
Okay, 350 is not huge. Exactly. That's quite intimate.
Exactly.
It's quite intimate.
And we cap it in terms of the size.
I mean, at the end of the weekend, you've met many people that, you know, like, and that.
So what does a day look like?
So the Thursday,
like activities and that kind of thing.
All right, so we have so we've broken off to begin doing very curated experiences for different segments. So for entrepreneur coming to Tech Beach, I'm signing up to the what we call a hybrid accelerator program. You would go through a series of workshops, mentorships, roundtable discussions, panels, that is specifically curated for you at Tech Beach, right?
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So it's very customized. You could customize your experience based on what your needs are.
Exactly.
Right.
So
That's
what you sign up
awesome.
to. So the entrepreneur coming to Tech Beach that signs up to this experience would end up getting a mentor assigned to them. And so we have like a whole cadre of people that sign up to be mentors to these entrepreneurs, right? That work at like Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, Intel, Microsoft,
Wow.
Amazon.
That's
like,
amazing
like,
access.
Yeah. So like this girl called Felicia Chang, one of her mentors is global head of marketing solutions at LinkedIn. And she speaks with her all the time. Her company's called Plantin. She's a Trinidadian girl.
Oh, you mean even after you leave Tech Beach, you still have this person as a mentor?
Yes, because these people like you. They like
Is there like a monthly fee for that?
No.
So you just built you've built a relationship. You've connected with this person, and now you have that person. Well, whatever the cost is to go there,
it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever the cost is,
another
just
really
that
good,
alone.
another really good example.
Amazing.
This a Trinidadian guy started this company called MD Link. He's a medical doctor. The company allows people to like phone in their medical prescriptions and get it delivered to them, right? So they just signed a deal with Sachiko in Jamaica.
Right.
He ended up getting a guy from Google Health to be an advisor in his company, a Trinidadian guy called Kwame Johnson.
It's amazing.
Through Tech Beach.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I introduced Kwame to the Tech Beach group. And the guy at MD Link, his name is Chebo, and Che messaged me. He's like, "Yo, I've been talking to Kwame. What do you think about it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm working with Kwame on coding camp." And Kwame's like, phenomenal guy, man. And I talked to Kwame. I'm like, Kwame's like, "Yeah, I really love the work that they're doing, and I think I'd actually leave my job at Google to work with him."
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Was it your friend you said that told you that thing about like everybody needs to kind of rise up together?
Exactly.
Exactly.
You're doing it. You're basically doing it.
Yeah. And so like Larry mentors like quite a bit of companies as well too. So these guys getting access to people that you just would not get access to.
And I mean you gain access to. You gain huge access.
Exactly. So
I mean I see you on your Instagram and you're in Facebook headquarters on this headquarters and whatever. So I mean you kind of soaking it all in as well.
Yeah, so me personally, my personal Rolodex is significantly expanding.
Yeah.
And as I start new ventures, I have like a whole host of like really good people that want to work with me and I want to work with them, and things that evolve in ways that I would have never initially projected, right? So
you have a lot of opportunities. So your head is so like what's the next big thing?
Yeah.
Or was it Chef Made?
Yeah. So
is that a good segue?
Yeah. Right. So boom, Chef Made. In that period of time when it was right before we started first, we went through. I told you that my uncle and us went separate ways with the company that we started. That provided like a bit of like stress for us and our family. And Nick, my brother, and I got a little bit ill. In college, coming up to that point in time, it was real gym-centric, gym-focused, real about buff life, right? And just clamming down as much protein as possible and just not living a balanced diet at all. It's just all about like packing on muscle, right? And we ended up starting to break out in hives. And the doctor said it was like stress-induced. But we couldn't figure out what was the cause of it. And we ended up going to like a homeopathic doctor, and it was like, change your diet. And so we narrowed it down to like cutting out like flour, sugar, caffeine. And in trying to like live a vegan life and cutting out those things as well.
So you went as far as vegan?
Yeah, man.
Right,
I went full on. I found it real difficult to find food in this country.
Yeah.
To live that life.
Are you still vegan today?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
I lost like 50 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I lost like 50 pounds in that time.
Yeah.
And in there, at that point in time as well, my sister was studying at hotel school to be a chef. And then she left hotel school and then she went to France to study. And then she became a chef, and then she came back home and she ended up working at like Show Cafe and a few different restaurants home here and that kind of thing. And then she started catering and just seeing how she evolved during the time and all that happening while First is going on and that sort of thing, right? And Tech Beach and that sort of stuff. And so we had the idea of like starting, getting into the food space with her. And giving more access to healthy food to people and really helping people live a healthier lifestyle because we, in going through the experience, saw how important it was, because when you're younger, you don't look at how you eat as much.
Well, you kind of feel like you're invincible when you're young.
Yeah, for sure, right?
But there's so many things that you could have, whether it's something surface level as like skin problems. Things that are way deeper. That a lot of it is. I mean, stress is one thing. But what you put into your body is another big.
I think people eat what tastes good, not what their body needs.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
So the plan was to roll out like this healthy food options for people.
Yeah, exactly. So in going back a little bit to first, going in the evolution of what we thought we would have gone with first was first delivers, because the big thing that people search for on the platform was food. That was by far I think like 60% of the searches was around food. Right. And so the next evolution was like first delivers. So we wanted to get into delivery space, but knowing the delivery space and seeing a few companies coming into it, the economics of it are real hard. Quite frankly, I think is impossible. But we'll see. We'll see. I saw some new players come into the space in Trinidad here. We'll see. And why I say it's impossible is because the amount of money that you can make per transaction is just so low. So you need real big volume, scale. You need so much scale, right? And so not unless you can get out that kind of scale, your economics not going to make sense for a long time, man. And so it'll make sense if it ends up becoming an add-on. Like if some company already delivers and then they add on food delivery. So like web stores saying, well, now I'm going to deliver food. Right, that makes sense. That's easier. Or DHL or somebody adds on that. I think that was easier and make more sense play. Because
what about the Uber Eats sort of model?
I think that's real tough because demand is chicken and egg you're gonna face, and the next problem is that restaurants in Trinidad not gonna prioritize looking at your app and the demand that coming through your app, and then what based on the research that we found is that people end up complaining that when the drivers get there, the food not made because the restaurant accustomed taking care of what is in front of them. There are people there. So they prioritize that versus prioritizing taking care of what coming through the app. And they're not accustomed to the technology in that way. And they're not going to prioritize it. And then what happens is that your food and getting delivered late. And then the customer doesn't blame the restaurant. They blame your app. They blame your company. And so they say, your company is shit because I get my food late and it's cold and thing or whatever the case is. But the reality is that these restaurants just not prioritizing your business. And so I went really thinking of it quite a bit. I played over my head a bit, and I'd be game to talk to anybody who has gotten into the space, because I see
the same Aaron Bessel that we had on here the other day, he is one who launched something similar. Foodle. So maybe if you want, he could pick your brain for a little bit.
Fine. And I would be more than happy to be wrong about it. So
I think you're right, because you're really just making money off the delivery. So you have to have some real high numbers for that to make sense.
So your average transaction value is so low. Like how much people gonna pay for food to be delivered? You're not gonna pay more than like $10-$15. Like you're not gonna pay $100 for delivery, right? Exactly, right?
Because especially if you're ordering from a restaurant already, it's already gonna be $300, and you add an X.
Exactly.
And you need the restaurants and the food places involved and like committed to it too, like you said. So
you thought about that model. You didn't think that made sense, which is why the model for Chef Made is
model for Chef Made is we make our own food. My sister's the chef, and then we have. Well, she's the head chef, so she designs all the meals, design every single new item that comes in the menu. And we have a production team, and so we have a head production chef, Jordan Huggins, my sister Hannah Marie Maloney, and then Jordan has like a team of production sous chefs that he works with as well, down to then the packaging and then out for delivery, right? And so that entire process, that entire system, we own.
So do you order like one meal, or is it a subscription service where you can get weekly, monthly?
So down to the transaction value again. So that became like the center point of our focus now of like ways like I can't survive on $10 every time, like because like you said, like people going to spend $300 on the food, or probably like 100, 150 ordering something. You order KFC. That was the first example you just gave. Like KFC, how much money KFC making on a delivery transaction, right? Like $10, $15. Like people not willing to pay much for delivery. Right?
Exactly.
So we started focusing on like, all right, so how would this make sense? We needed this transaction value every time somebody buys for it to be decently high in order for it to make sense. And so we came up with the model of it being a minimum transaction value. In concept, we want it to be a subscription, but it's not essentially a subscription yet. But the goal is for it to be a subscription, but you order food for the week.
Right. Okay, so the minimum order is a week.
Five or 10 meals.
5 or 10 meals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is lunch and dinner. You're not doing breakfast.
Yeah. No, we're not doing breakfast.
Yeah.
Right?
I think lunch and dinner are the most important ones.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. Right. And that's the most
if you behave
ones.
Good for lunch and dinner, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Now, are you all sticking to sort of diet food or not really?
Yeah. No.
Or do you try to keep under around 500 calories or how does that work?
Yeah. No. So with the 5 or 10 meals, we get the transaction value to be decent enough that delivery across almost any part of the country is free.
Yeah.
Right? So that's cool.
Okay.
So no added cost for delivery, because every time a transaction goes out, our average transaction value I think is like $400 to $500 now.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's cool, right?
And that would be 5 meals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, 5 or 10 meals. I say average transaction value.
Right.
So across all, some people buying 5, some people buying 10. Average amount. Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And the price per meal varies from like the cheapest meal is $45 to like you get a rack of lamb for like $120. Right. So
that's a good price though.
Yeah.
For a rack of lamb for $120. That's delivered
to you. Yeah. Right.
So what sort of meals? How? So because I'll tell you. So there are different people that sort of deliver food. There is like a caterer. They kind of work from home and they deliver food to offices or whatever, and they would email you the menu for the week. I've tried some of them. I mean, the food is good, but you get very bored. You get bored quickly with the menu. So how do you all sort of keep it fresh?
Yeah. We enter some of our secret sauce.
I mean, you got to be real inventive, right? But then some people would have favorites as well. Like if you take it off the menu, they go call you and cuss you up.
It's all right. So now I had to think like, all right, so how much I want to share.
That's fine. All right. Well, anything you don't want to share, you don't want to go into too much details.
Before we able to like really stamp our foot and become like the de facto leader in the space, right? So
I mean, you are ready because there's nobody else. Anybody else?
Yeah. There are a lot of other people.
I know these
like
slim down 360, slim down 360.
And you have My Fit Menu. You have other people that doing different things. There are other people in the space, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't want to like jump out and say like we are the leader necessarily. But
right. Okay.
We might be. We might be currently. But anyway, so what is unique about us that our customers like that you can see on the outside, right? One is that compared to a regular restaurant and like your people that focus on like slim down or diet food and that kind of thing, we change our menu like regularly. Every 7 to 14 days, new items added, new old items taken off. And Justin said like sometimes people really like things, and so we just use the data. Use the data. What hasn't sold, push that off. Bring new things in, and we just keep adding new things. And so every couple weeks, new things added. And in terms of the food style and quality, that we focus on like a real high quality product, and not necessarily like over healthy, right? So it's not like you're not gonna eat like. It's not gonna taste dry or like no salt and that kind of thing. But we try to use.
It's not a greasy food, but it's not like
you kind of balance between.
So you can have a little potato in there.
Exactly.
But not like cheese down.
So what we've done is to find a range of food on the healthy spectrum. Exactly. So we said, all right, if we're playing within the healthy spectrum, you can go like super healthy, or you could go like on the line there, right? So things that on the line and things that are super healthy. Give you an example.
I think that's a good,
right? So we have we have lasagna. Spectrum. We have eggplant lasagna.
Perfect.
Right?
Oh, that tastes real good. My wife does one. She's a chef as well, actually.
Right? So you're on the line there. You're on the line there because it can get greasy.
But the eggplant better than the pasta.
Right, exactly, right? And then we have like cauliflower rice and that kind of thing, you know. So we have those sorts of things, and then like on the super healthy side, we partner with this guy called Dexter Simon. And Dexter Simon, if anybody knows,
I saw that he's a gym fitness guy or something,
and he has like a big following, right? And his whole thing is about like strict health eating diet, and so we partner with Dexter to give us
a line,
his style of meals.
Right.
And so now his clientele buys from us on a regular basis. Awesome. And those meals are like super strict. Like, like low to no salt and no carbs and like just super
probably like
strict.
Around 400, 500
Yeah, exactly.
calories.
Set amount of calories, weighed options, and the food is weighed.
Right.
You know, like, so it's super strict with his food and his clientele and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy the eggplant or you want to buy the super strict, and then we have a bunch of things in between. So our menu has like over 30 items. So when people go there, they be like, whoa, I didn't realize it's so much.
You can buy online, you can pay with your credit card.
All right, so... Man, then we get into this whole credit card problem in this damn country.
Like all the checks out to cash out.
Jesus Christ,
nobody cash out to your credit. You cash out to your credit card with PayPal.
So,
but then does everyone you have a PayPal account?
Right,
The best thing I think would be if you could, if it could plug into Amazon, because everybody has if you could do payments through Amazon in Trinidad, because I think everybody has an Amazon account. You know, it would be so easy to check out with your Amazon account. But then for the business, get it in your Trini bank account.
That's
if you could reach there one day.
So all right. So contrary to popular belief, e-commerce transactions in the country and the region is possible, right?
With First Atlantic.
Exactly. First Atlantic is the payment gateway. Right. But there are lots of super strict, stressful, annoying things that you need to get done in order to be able to get it. I think on First Atlantic site is like they said like you need to have like 6 months of transactions as a brick and mortar in order to have a First Atlantic.
Yeah, we went through the Bible once because we were building this website for CXC back in the day. And it's like this thick thing that Dexter read through.
It's crazy. So they have the bank requirements. So in terms of like KYC kind of things and just making sure that the business and the vendor is real and proper business. And then once you get across there, and we now cross that hurdle, it took us like a couple months to do, and done First Atlantic requirements. And so it's not an easy plug and play thing. Man sent me like a bunch of like technical things. And I'm like, Jesus. This wasn't so difficult when I set up my TechBeach account with Stripe.
But if you do it through these people, we pay. Sorry, they've kind of simplified the process because they're using First Atlantic, but then they have like a plug-in WordPress that you could just kind of plug into your site or something. So you didn't consider that option.
So we build the site on Shopify. So
okay.
So taking the learnings from First, like we spent a lot to build our initial First website. I didn't have all that cash flexibility in starting Chef Made. So we looked at Shopify, and Shopify is great.
Because it's out of the box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we got up those designs on Shopify. We used a bunch of Shopify plugins, and got the site running quickly. And so that's why everybody likes the stuff that we have.
Right.
So what we need to have in order for the transactions to work is a Shopify plugin. That would work seamlessly with people. As soon as they reach the end, they can just put in a credit card, and it's all part of the Shopify integration. We didn't have that Shopify integration.
Right.
And I met with the CEO of First Atlantic, and he was like, yeah, man, we could get that done for you for sure. Met with Aldwin, CEO VP. He's like, bro, you can't get it done. He's like, none of us have it. But we want it though. But either way, I done working with First Atlantic to get it done.
Okay.
Going through that process, but we've had like over a year of transactions that we done through Shopify. And when I say transactions, is that when people get to the end, it's they say transaction complete, but it's a promise to pay basically.
So they pay on delivery. You have like a wireless machine or something, and they swipe the card.
All of ours is pay on delivery, cash or card on delivery.
Right. Okay.
And so we started off last year, February. It was our first delivery. And now we've delivered over 100,000 meals across the country.
Amazing.
Well done, bro. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Like right now, it's a really good feeling. Like I was telling you guys earlier, like
you were sharing some numbers.
Our peak in terms of sales this month. And every month for the year has just been like our best month. We plateau in between during the summer. And then now coming out of summer here again, I think as people get back home and into routine, I think now is it. Boom, peak up again. So in June, before summer started, so July and August, we peaked there. So gradually from January, February, March, every month was the best month, better than the next month. And then July and August, we kind of like plateaued. And then now September, boom, peak again. And I think definitely that summer period had a lot to do with it.
What is the marketing like? Because I've only recently started seeing like some Facebook ads, but other than that, I first heard about you just word of mouth.
Right, yeah. So that's the thing. So on taking my first experience again and the access that I have now, we run all of our ads online. Have not done any physical advertising yet. We've done some press PR. That's it. But everything. So for me, and I handle digital advertising. So, and then I have my content team from first. We do all of the shoots and the video and that sort of thing. And then my brother does all the design. And so that loop there is the content engine for all of our advertising.
Right.
And then run all the campaigns. So doing all the retargeting, all the lookalike audiences, just running the whole gamut. I have literally like 7 different campaigns. I'm thinking about it in my mind, or like 7 different campaigns, different target audiences, different breakdowns.
I think that's when I actually started seeing the Facebook ads from your retargeting, because I checked out the website. And then
you see?
It catch me in Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was your retargeting working right there.
Yep, right, yeah. And so we run these things, and then I have a guy that worked at Facebook for like 3-4 years. He now moved to advertising agency as VP of marketing. He's now like my direct advisor. Looking through my campaigns. And he's like, Kyle, take out this, do that. Like, this is what you should do. And
he's just doing that as a friend.
Yeah, he's just doing that as
like
not
as some paid consultant.
No. But
that's amazing. It's all about connections.
It's all about connections. But the hook for him is that going to list him as an advisor on the company, and then we're going to raise capital, and then he's going to be a proper board of advisor and that sort of thing. And so like, he's bought into the trajectory of where we're going. And the fact that he gave me advice at the start of the month, boom, I peak at the end of this month. You know? And I said, all right, cool. I was able to implement 1, 2, 3, 4 different things. You gave me like 10 freaking things to do. I'm on 4. All right, I peak. I'll get the rest of the things done. But all that's like incentive to continue to work with us more and that sort of thing. So access to those sorts of people, and then going forward to raise capital. The next thing, having these kind of people on your advisory team, and it's just so good. It's just good.
So where do you want to take it? Because you're talking about like how what's the vision? What's the vision?
Chef Made vision is to be as big as we could essentially be, focused on markets that we don't have the strong competition in. So the US is like highly saturated, but a lot of the Latin American markets and throughout the rest of the region just don't have person in our company.
But you would need like a kitchen crew on the ground in these countries.
Yeah, for sure. So we have 2 strategies that we're gonna toy with. I don't necessarily want to like
give away too much.
Give away too much because the way Trinidad operates is that people always like to just come and try and just do the same thing. Right? And so what I tell people a lot of the times is that I actually don't care to share like or speak about my experiences with people or whatever. I'm not so closed up, because the magnanimity of the vision that we're going after is so big that I actually need as much help as possible. And I love talking and getting feedback from people. But you do that with a pinch of like sensibility as well, right? Because sometimes people wouldn't do something as good as you, but they'll come in and just mess up the space a bit and just make it not great.
Exactly.
You know, like try this other thing and it was shit, and so why should I use you? You know? So it just mess it up. You know, so
that's a real good.
That's a very good point.
So they have that, and then they have the perspective of like, well, another company comes in and they soften up the market for you and they just make the market bigger. Because another challenge that we face in as well is that we have a unique culture that is unique to Chef Made that we're trying to drive, which is purchasing food for the week on a regular basis. People don't do that. You know, so we're building a culture that people aren't accustomed to. So people only do that in the meal prep space. You know, like I prep in my food for the week because I'm trying to lose weight or I'm trying to get to this goal or objective, or whatever, and I'm healthy and that kind of thing. So
you want people to forget about washing dishes and all that kind of stuff, and just. You know, your food that's one less thing
you have to worry about. Yeah, exactly. And, exactly. You just pop the Chef Made in the fridge. You know you always have food there. And that's the downside for me. People always know I have food.
Because you have it stuck up in your...
Jed is a scene all the time for me. Because I buy my food for me. But at the end of the day, like, people know like it's Chef Made and I have Chef Made, right? my family, my friends, everybody just coming over all the time. So it's get delivered twice a week, Monday and Thursday. My Thursday delivery, what today is? Today's Sunday. My Thursday delivery done. I order 10 meals, and my brothers live with me. We live together. Right. We order 10 meals each, so 20 meals a chef made in the fridge. Stack up. Yeah, food for the week. Brother, that didn't even last till Saturday. Didn't even last till Saturday.
Well, you know what? I mean, the thing is, you might be converting, you might be getting new customers right there, you know? Hit them the chef made it like, bro, where can I get more of this? Check out the website. You know?
I mean, like that would be true if it wasn't your close friends and family that come all the time.
Right.
It's not, I don't have a shop where random people come to sample. It's the same people coming all the time. You know what you're going to get.
So tell me something. So are you saying like you're kind of all in and focused on Chef Made right now, or is your brain still training and is something else that you're looking at?
Chef Made is one of.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So you focus on Chef Made right now, the Tech Beach retreat, and then something big coming as well in the background, or
for sure. Well, something big with Chef Made is coming. For sure. We're definitely on the round whereby we're raising.
Right. Okay.
Quietly.
Yeah.
We're gonna have raised a bit.
Right.
Actually, because our numbers look good. They're solid.
Well, your numbers good already.
Yeah. So, show you guys it.
Yeah.
Right. So the numbers solid. And that's a cool thing, right? It's a cool thing when you're dealing with investors. A lot of entrepreneurs that the investors would meet with would sell a dream.
At a very, very early stage, and they don't have any numbers as yet.
Exactly.
Like you look at like a Dragon's Den or a Shark Tank or whatever, and people calling all these big numbers or whatever, and you know.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, we're able to like show you practically there and then, right now, this is how much money we're making, this is how much people on the site.
Yeah.
You know, like, so that aspect of it is really cool for people that are looking at us to really get into the space and give us that level of like support and investment. So that's made the conversation with us a lot easier.
Yeah.
A lot more fun for me as well too, like going into conversations, being confident in your numbers and the things they're able to produce and seeing the results, and it's like
that's amazing.
Yeah. So,
well, bro, we coming up to the 2-hour mark. I feel like we could go forever.
Yeah,
like I really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I would like to get like one thing out of here, right?
Yeah.
So, basically, you have such a wealth of experience, you know. So for somebody who's kind of young entrepreneurs or somebody that has like an idea for an app or whatever, like, you know, what kind of advice would you want to give to that person? I feel one should be go to Tech Beach retreat.
I agree.
I mean, it's bad to kind of plug your own thing, but anyway, sorry, you go.
No, yeah, for sure. But the sucky thing about Tech Beach is not cheap.
Yeah.
By Caribbean standards.
Right. Yeah.
So
especially if you had a flight,
exactly, right. So ticket price at Tech Beach is the cheapest ticket price is like $1,200. Right. But that comes with a lot though. You get your hotel room for 3 nights.
Yeah.
You get access to the conference, and you get unlimited food and drink. Right?
That's pretty good.
And the resort that you're at is like a phenomenal resort. Every time people come, they're like, cheese and ages, or they could have sell more of this thing. This is real nice.
You ever thought to do like a access through live stream login kind of payment thing or something?
Yeah, but we just...
You might lose a
big aspect of it though.
Yeah.
Which is the meeting people and connecting on passion.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. So advice for entrepreneurs.
A young coming up, you know.
So what I'd tell an entrepreneur is nothing different than they would have heard before. Like, just keep pushing, keep grinding, and the goal really is to just continue to connect and meet people and focus on mission-driven things. You know, like things that you're really trying to like affect the world in a really meaningful way. You know, and that's my own mission, right? My like personal mantra is like to build things that make today better than yesterday, right? And so that's why like I don't get into like businesses that aren't necessarily just like a cash grab, you know. Like everything that I do is just about like, how does what we do now make something better, and using technology as a driver for growth and innovation, that kind of thing. So Tech Beach the ecosystem. Chef Made coming in there. First might come back up, you know, like, and we have other things that we definitely gonna be looking at for sure.
Yeah. Well, bro, that was beautiful.
Awesome.
It was a pleasure talking to you. If people want to sort of reach out to you or follow you online, what's the best place to kind of keep up with you or get connected?
Instagram and LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
My Instagram is Kyle Maloney _F1. Always pay the attributor first.
Right.
People ask me like, you into F1 car racing? I'm like, it's first F1 RST.
All right.
And then my LinkedIn, my name Kyle Maloney. Shoot my email.
All right. Cool.
KyleAtTechBeach.net.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, bro. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Man.
It was cool.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.